Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's called a flag card. So the belly band comes off. It needs a belly band because it is really quite thick in there. And when you open it, you've got these flags in there, which I think is absolutely superb. I saw this design quite some time ago. Somebody had used our hot air balloon set for it, and but I couldn't find any instructions for it until a couple of days ago, and I came across a website called Becky's Place, and she has a picture tutorial on there. So I've taken the instructions from her, but the sizes are mine. She did a 6x4. This is the regular A6 size. So to start off with, I'm going to tell you the card pieces that you need. I'm changing my colour scheme, although I'm using the same designer series paper, which is Needlepoint Nook. This is Poppy Parade, and I'm going to be using Berry Burst. So I'm going to tell you the card pieces that you're going to need first. So there's a card base which is Whisper White, and that measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. And then you need a piece of, put a piece of paper over that, piece of Needlepoint Nook designer series paper, and that should measure 12 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is 30 by 14.5 centimetres. And then you need 2 pieces of Berry Burst, and these should measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, or 10 by 14 centimetres. And then a contrast design from the Needlepoint Nook, and this measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8, which is 9.7 by 13.7. You'll need a strip of Berry Burst, and that should measure 3/4 inch by 9 1/2 inches, or 1.9 by 24 centimetres. And then you also need, I have die cut all the squares rather than telling you 1 7/8 inch squares and all of that, because I've used fancy dies. So first of all, you need 4 of the stitched shape squares. Now I will be putting alternative measurements in the box below, just in case you don't have these dies, so that you can just cut squares. But this is size number 2 of the dies. If you're not quite sure how I number my dies, check out the last 3 minutes on my video number 275. The first 7 minutes shows you how I do my die storage, but the last 3 minutes is all about how I number these. So you've got 4 number 2 die stitched shape squares. You will also need 4 scalloped squares, and they are from the Layering Squares dies, and that is scallop squares is number 6, so that was number 2, that's number 6. You also need a stitched shape square, which is number 3 die, so that's the next size up from that one, and also a scalloped square in Berry Burst, which is the number 8 die. Okay, so all of those, and you will need a scrap of Whisper White to do all of the flowers on the outside and on the inside. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to decorate the outside of our card. When I did my one, I decorated this after I'd put all this together, and to try and get that lined up straight with that bump there was not easy. So I have already prepared my layers with my tape, so I'm going to put these on first. Right, as we're on the video, turn it upside down. I think I'm just about getting the hang of this. That is remembering to turn it upside down. Berry Burst will be leaving us at the end of May, beginning of June. Such a shame, I really like this colour. In fact, I suppose if I'm honest, there are very, very few colours from Stampin' Up that I don't like. Right, that's got to go that way. Be very careful if your designer series paper has a right way and a wrong way. Normally these kind of designs on the front can be used any which way, but this one I am convinced there is a right way and a wrong way. Right, am I? Yep. Now I am putting a sheet of cardstock on the back of this card. The reason being, I just feel that it needs a little bit of extra, well, support, I suppose. I just don't feel that one sheet of Whisper White is enough to, with all the bulk that's on the inside. But if you don't feel that it needs this one, leave it off. With the Poppy Parade one, I wouldn't put any extra on the back for writing the greeting. But on this one, with the Berry Burst, I think it's a bit too dark to write on it. So I would write on a piece of Whisper White and then die cut it into a fancy shape and then just stick it on the back. Because obviously no room on the inside really. Right, there we go, so that's the outside done. Put that to one side and we will do the scoring on this. You can use your trimmer or your scoreboard, whichever you prefer. As you know, my scoreboard is my favourite. So let's make sure that you can see what I'm doing. So I need my score tool. I'll give the metric first. No, I won't. I'll give the imperial first and then I'll do the metric. So what you need to do is to score at, this is very easy, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches and 9 inches. Okay, so, and the metric is 7.5, 10 centimetres, 12.5 centimetres, 15, 17.5, 20 and 22.5 centimetres. So back to inches at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't score too hard on your designer series paper because it is paper. Now we need to fold. Now I want valley folds first of all, so it's got to go that way. So on the first one, do a valley fold. I hope I've done this hard enough. Yes, I have. Okay, and I don't use a bone folder here. Okay, so that's one. I'm going to skip one and go on to the next one. So it's every alternate score line you need to fold. That's one, that's the next one. They're quite easy to fill with your finger. And make sure as you're going along here that you are lining up correctly. And one. Okay. So along here you should have 4 folds. And then turn it over, and the other 3 score lines do valley folds on those. That one, missed that one, jump up to there. With a design like this, you really do need to watch, or at least feel it as you're going along. And there should be one more. Let's turn that over. There it is. That's it. Okay. So you should finish up with, okay. Just give that a good squeeze. Now what I normally find is that there is a gap here. So that's not looking very promising because that's wonky. Right, bear with me when I get this straightened out. Now which one is wonky, do we think? I think that's okay now. Well, that's better. Anyway, what you need to do is, because this is uneven, you need your trimmer. And just slice off the smallest amount possible. I tend to try and take a little bit off of this piece as well, just so that they are both identical. I don't want to take too much off. But make sure that you're pushing up against the top there, and then just slice it off. The plan is so that these are 3 inches, but if it finishes up that they're 1 15/16 of an inch, it really doesn't matter. As long as everything is straight. Okay, so that's all lining up now. Right, what we need to do with this bit now is we need to adhere it in here. That's upside down. That's better. And what I have found easiest to do is, in fact, have I? Oh no, I thought I'd cut the DSP a bit taller, or at least the card base shorter. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put a piece of tape on one side here, and I am going to concentrate on getting that adhered down here. And then for the rest of it I'm going to use Tombow. In fact, I wonder if I shouldn't experiment, should I? But I do. I am going to experiment. Normally what I have been doing, because I've experimented with 3 of these bits to start off with, that's the only complete card I've done, and I've been trying different ways. I'm going to try putting Tombow just on that little piece instead of tape, which is what I have been doing. And then once I'm happy that that is down straight, then I'm going to put Tombow on the rest of this, because I plan to do Tombow on that side anyway. Okay, so this is the plan. Where's Tombow? Right, I'm only going to do on the edge here. Am I in your view? Yep. Okay. Yep, still the right way. So line the bottom corner, the side, and then the top corner. So you shouldn't be able to see anything the other side, and you shouldn't be able to see any white on this side. I can see white, but I'm going to leave that. I'd rather have the bit of white. And then make sure that this is coming along straight as well, which mine isn't. Yep, that's better. Yep, that's it. Okay, so as soon as you've got that bit down and you're happy with it, check along here to make sure this is going to be okay. Okay. Yep, that'll be fine. Okay, so now the next one to do this, what I did was, well, that's not good, is it? What have I done there? Oh, I haven't done anything, just because it's not folded properly. God, that frightened me. Okay. So once that is done, then I can bring that over. But that needs to go back in a bit. Yep, that'll be right. Okay. So let's see what happens now. Okay, so you should be able to bring that over and then manoeuvre that into place. Mine's a little bit wonky. But it opens and closes perfectly. Now if you find that you've got little bits over the edge, down there, across the top there, can you see that I've got a little bit coming over there? I don't know if you can, it's a piece of white paper here. There we go, you should be able to see that now. Okay, got a little bit coming up. I'm going to cut that off by hand. Okay, it's not the kind of thing you can put back into your trimmer because you've got all of this now. Okay, so I'll take my paper snips. It's not easy to start from that side. I've just turned that in a complete circle, haven't I? And of course I can't turn it round, can I? Maybe I can. There we go. So I have got a little bit of a white down there and a little bit of white down there, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's so minute. I did think that maybe it would have been better to have had this cut a bit short, but that wasn't part of the instructions, so I stayed as it was. Right, now for all of these pieces, the stamp set I'm using is needle and thread, and I'm using that flower and that one which is one stamp, and that one which is also one stamp, and I'm using this sentiment which says people like you make the world a better place, which I thought was rather nice. So I've already stamped all of mine apart from the sentiment and die cut them all, but I will, as always, just do one of each with you. Okay, so these are my stamps. If I don't stamp perfectly with that one, which not often I do, I can show you how I remedy it, as long as it's not too bad. Right, so let's try the Berry Burst first. And I did write down how many of each of these that you needed. Right, with the large flower you need 2 of these. Okay, I'm only doing 1 of each. Now let's see if I can do this wrong. It only happened, I can only correct it if it's a little bit wrong. Oh, that's almost good, isn't it? I need 2 large ones. Well, I've already done it, but let's see if I can do it wrong again. This is typical, isn't it? If I can't actually demonstrate to you what I do, I will just explain it. Ah, there we go. Now, that is far too bad for me to actually correct, but if you get a little white area on here, what I do to correct this is I take my Berry Burst marker pen, the brush end, and I'll just do the bit in the centre so that you can actually see what I'm doing. I just do very, very tiny little dots. And if they're tiny enough, you'll find that they would blend in. Let me just bring that up to show you with my marker, paper piercer. Okay, so you see where that is pointing? They are the tiny little dots that I've drawn. As I say, for a big white area like this, it won't work. It will work if you've just got a tiny little bit though, rather than having to restamp. But like that, I would just reject that. That's absolutely no good at all. Right, so that was the big one. The small one, and this one, you need 1. This is a medium flower rather. Okay, so that's that one. And this is the triple, and this you need 3. This is one of our distinctive stamp sets, which means it's one of those where the detail on it is absolutely stunning. I'll bring it back up to show you once I get that far. Right, so that's Berry Burst. Now I'm using Tranquil Tide. And this is the double stamp. As you can see, I haven't cleaned it since I used it last, but that's only this morning. And you need 4 of these. You may well decide that you want to use something totally different and just do the shape and the frame. There we go. So let me just bring that up. The ones that you can see this best in are those three there and this one here. You have a look at the detail. You can also see some of it here, but those two really show it up, really to its full beauty. Aren't they lovely? Stampin' Up really come into their own with something like this. Right, I need that, and that's for my sentiment, which you may want to cut your stamp your sentiment first. Right, how far down can I come? Yep, that's doing shot. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp it at the bottom. And then I'll decorate the top bit. On the one on this card that I've already done, I did decoration top and bottom, but I decided I wanted to mix it up a bit this time. There we go. Is that lovely? So there's that. And I will just do the die cutting on these. I'll do one large flower, one medium, and the triple. That one's going to have to go. Right. So I'll get my big shot up. That's it. Right, the dies. I've already cut all these ones out, I've shown you these, but this is the die set for the scalloped dies, squares, and this was the stitched shapes, and they're the two, the number 2 and number 3 are the dies that I've used for the stitched white squares. Now this is the set that comes with needlepoint, no, needle and thread is the stamp set, and the dies are needlepoint elements. So I'm going to be using that one for the large flower, the medium flower, the triple, and then the greenery, to show you what these other dies do. That there, that one, it's just stitches, and that is the same shape as our pretty label punch. So if you punch the shape out, then you can put the stitches on it. I've got one here that I can show you. There we go. Okay, so that was that way. That was punched first. It's a little bit scratched now because I keep it in the with the stamps. But isn't that lovely? I love these stitched stamps, I really do. Not quite so keen on empty leaves, but look at that as well. That's just an impression rather than a die. But it's really lovely. Right, so that's what I'm using. Let's put this one first. Now if you're a bit better organised than I am, you'll pay attention to which way you are placing your dies, because there's a arrow on this one, but I'm not that well organised, I'm afraid. Mind you, don't find it too difficult to find the correct way round anyway, so I should cut these, shouldn't I? I cut them separately just in case the die starts jumping. If it jumps on one but not the other and they're attached, Makes life very difficult. There's that one. And again, find the right way round for this. Nope. I assume for this one there must have been a mark in the stamp set to tell you which is the right way up. Come on, come on. Well, that's not going to work. Oh, for goodness sake. Let's try it down here first to find out. This is a lot quicker than trying to get it to spin round on a magnetic plate. Aha! Right, found it. Right, there we go. So the other mat is here. Just make sure none of these jump. There we go. So there we go, I have those three. Let's bring this back. There's that one. And that one. And this one. Okay, so keep that piece. That can go there. And that. And we can put that back. Right, let me bring my sheet over with all my bits on. Okay, you can see that I have cut all of my bits into singles. I went through and I counted how many pieces did I have with the, what I'm calling the fern, with the bobbles, and the small leaves with bobbles, and I've cut them out exactly what I need in there. But I'm going to show you what I do. I just follow around on the first one, and the important thing is when you're separating these, just make sure you don't finish up with any sharp pointed bits. That's an absolute giveaway that you have actually been fussy cutting. What it looks like at the bottom here doesn't matter, because that's going to be adhered underneath a flower. Okay, so just keep moving your paper. That's a pointy bit. That's it. So that one's okay. That needs tidying up by the side. Again, don't worry about the other side. Now, if I wanted this left together, I would just go straight across there. But I'm assuming that I would want this separated. There's that one, and then this one. Just leave a little bit of white there to be adhered down. Okay, so those are my new pieces. So I'm going to have quite a few of these left over, by the time I finish doing this card. Right, oh that's right, I was saving that for the belly band. That one there and that. So let's get these bits done. All of these I'm going to adhere with Tombow. Get my tweezers. There we go. And then the white is going on to the white. In fact, let's get a little conveyor belt going along here. So I should have another one of those. Make sure they're all face the right way. Okay. There we go. Right, now I can start decorating these. Now I'm going to do them exactly the same as I've done before, so there's not going to be any hesitation while I think, does this go, does that not go? Okay, so first of all I've got one medium-sized flower, and on this I've got a joined one of those. Okay, so I'm going to put that at the bottom, and then that's going on there. Just getting a bit lumpy there. Let's move that up. That's better. There's absolutely no right or wrong way with any of this. So we do this one, we've got 2 large, 2 small, and 2 leaves and 3 leaves. Well, there's 2 and that's 3. Okay, so we've got 1 coming down here. Okay, work on it upside down, that's fine. And this one goes off to the side. Into the corner. And do the 2 large ones first. One there. One coming down here. There's a bit of a gap between them. Yep, that's fine. I've done my leaves upside down, haven't I? You silly person. Right. No, that's because I turned it upside down. So what shall we do? Fortunately, I'm convinced I've got spare flowers here. With that you wouldn't know, would you, whether it's upside down or not? Okay, sounds like a plan to me. There we go. You know the saying? Nobody will ever know. There we go. So that's fine. Now the next one is the large flower, and it's got that one. Okay. So we do these first. That goes up in the corner like that. I wasn't quite sure whether I should have done this ahead of time or not, but I thought in the end that it is quite quick, so you'll be quite happy to watch, I hope. Okay, so there's that one. And the last one is two of these little donut things and two of the little pom-poms. Okay, so we'll have those. Don't want that one. Right, so let's do these. Come on. One donut and two donuts. So that's all of those flags done. Now I need this one, and I did triple leaves. Oh, it's going to be different now, isn't it, because I've changed my design around. Okay, so I had triple leaves and a donut, and then I had two of these. Were they large ones? No, one large, one small. And that was a double leaf, that one, and that went off out to the corner. Okay. I think I'm going to have enough flowers left over to do another one of these. That's that. Don't you just love this saying? People like you make the world a better place. I think it's great. So there we go. Yep, that's good. I like that. I'm happy with that. Now, what the lady said in her tutorial was when you start adding these in, mind you, hers, because her card was 6 inches this way and her squares were 2 inches, she had one there, and the one on here was in the middle. So when it was like that, you could see all three, nothing was covered. but I've changed it a bit because I've done one that's bigger than the others. So what I do to put these in is I guess what is halfway there, and then I just use Tombow down here. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm just going to put the others in, and I'm going to do it the same way as this one. Right, so this one's at the bottom here. I just leave a fraction of an inch here, probably an eighth of an inch or something. This one is the one at the top. As you saw, if you make a mistake on the flags, it's quite easy to change your mind about something so that you can make it right. So there's that one. This is the one that I did wrong. No, I didn't do it wrong, just changed my mind about it, didn't I? So there we go. Let's bring it like that. And then the last one, I had that as at the bottom. There we go. So what do you think? That look nice? I'm pleased with that. Right, I'll move those out of the way. I need these two. So I'm going to do the belly band now. So what I did first of all was I just gave this a little bit of a curl just to help it with bending. And then from the back, because there are no measurements for this, I need to trim that bit down. I just take that so it's about halfway across here, and then fold that round, not too hard. You don't want your belly band to be so tight that it won't slide up and down. Then bring that over. Okay, so it's like that, and I'll put that one over there. But I put that at the front as well so that, yeah, it's smooth it there. So once you've done that, take that off and make sure that these are lining up straight, and then give that a squeeze. Again, I don't use my bone folder. Fold that over and then squeeze that down. As I say, I want this at the front, so just put that on there. And then Tombow again. And I just put some Tombow. Which way round you going? That way. Okay. Right, I'm going to put some on the end there. And then some on the end here. And then close it over. And then make sure that they line up nicely. Okay, you can see that I haven't pushed mine tight here. I'll bring that up to you to show you. Okay, I've got space there. That means it will slide up and down nicely. And then I'm going to pop this on here. Did it the other way, didn't I? Oh, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's going to go in the centre. I've got 3/4 of an inch in which to put the glue. That was the width of the band here. Okay, so that goes on there, and then the flower, that's going to go round like that, so that's at the top. Right, just sort of eyeballing where the glue can go. I don't want to finish up doing this and find out I've stuck my belly band to my card. There we go. Just take it off to make sure that I haven't got any glue there. That's it. You could add a sentiment on the front of your card if you wanted. Now all I did to finish off was I put some, I think we're calling these faceted gems. They are in gold or silver, or no, I think they call this clear, don't they? So I'm going to take the medium size for the centre of my flower, and I did 2 on either side here. And there we go. Right, so this is the first one. This is the Poppy Parade. Okay, this is the view that you get from up here. I mean above it. And yeah. But yeah, I hope you like it. I'm just so pleased with this design. It's, as you open it up, it's, I don't know, it just looks so clean and so fresh. Let's just pop, no, you're not going to go, are you? So, and that one, really nice and clean and fresh. So I hope you like it, and I hope you give it a try. I'm not quite sure how to leave it with you to take the belly bands off or put them on. Maybe just leave one open, shall I? I'll hold it because it's just going to flop down so you can't see anything. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this, hope you give it a try. If you have any questions or comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you, and I do enjoy reading your feedback. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. Also in the box below I will list out all the products that I've used, all the sizes, measurements, the exact dies that I've used for all the squares and what have you, and also I will put substitute measurements in for the squares just in case you don't have these particular dies, although they are all available in my shop if you feel like treating yourself. And also, if you've enjoyed my video and you would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button, which you'll find in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and then click on the bell so that you can receive the notifications. So many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.